Now, so far we learned how to use aircrack-ng to run a word list attack and crack the password for WPA and WPA2 networks. We did this by doing aircrack-ng followed by the file name that contains the handshake, and followed by the name of the word list, which in my case is WPA word list. Now running this command will start the Kraken, and as you can see now it's going through the whole word list trying every single possible password in there. So I'm gonna Control-C this. And as you can see, I have a quite big dictionary in here. So it would take 2 hours and 13 minutes to go through this whole dictionary to try all the possible passwords in there. Now, there are much bigger dictionaries than the one I'm using right here. So the cracking process can take several hours or even days. Now, this is not bad for cracking WPA. I wouldn't mind waiting a day or two to get my password. The only problem is you're gonna have to let aircrack-ng run for this amount of time, because if you quit aircrack-ng and run the command again, as you can see, we're gonna start from 0% again, and we're gonna start from the start of the file. So aircrack-ng doesn't save where it reached in the previous cracking session. So what I want to show you today is how to save the cracking session so that if you quit aircrack-ng and come back to it in a day or two, or even if you come back to it after a week, you'll still have your session and you'll start from where you left the last time. So to do this, we're gonna first of all use a tool called John the Ripper. Now, John the Ripper is a very famous cracking tool that can be used to do many things. In this lecture, we're going to use it to do something very simple, which is literally just display our word list on the screen. And I'll tell you why we'll do that. So first of all, let me show you the command. It's going to be John, followed by the name of the word list. So we're going to say word list, and give it the name of my word list, which is WPA word list. And then I'm going to tell it that I want you to display this on the standard output, which is basically this current terminal screen. So the command is very simple. We're just doing John, which is the name of the program. We're giving it our word list, which is stored in the root directory. So it's the current working directory. That's why all I have to do is just give its name. And then I'm saying that I want you to display this to me on the standard output on the terminal screen. Now I'm going to hit enter. And as you can see, this command will literally just list all the passwords stored in the word list. Now I hit Control-C to stop because it's a very big file and it'll take a while to list everything. But you get the idea. The command will literally just display all the passwords on screen. Now the question is, why am I doing this? Well, in Linux, we can redirect the output to anywhere we want, really. So we're going to use a very useful feature where we can redirect the output of this current command and use it as an input to another command. Now we've seen before that when we use aircrack-ng, we give it our word list as the input. Today, we're going to use the output generated by the command that we just seen, which is basically our word list, and we're going to use it as an input to aircrack-ng. And we're going to use that using the pipe character, which is the vertical bar. And then we're going to use our aircrack-ng command in here. So it's going to be aircrack-ng, followed by the -w option, where we usually give our word list. But we're not going to give a word list this time. We wanted to use the output generated by the previous command. And to do that, we're just going to put a dash instead of the word list. And then we're going to fill the command as we usually do. So we're going to do -b to specify the MAC address for my target network. Now I've already copied this, so I'm just going to paste it. And then we're going to specify the name of the file that contains the handshake. And in my case, it's called handshake-01.cap. So I'm going to go over this command again just to explain it to you. So first of all, we're using the first command here that I showed you before. and this command is literally just going to display the output of the word list on screen. Then we use the bar character to pipe the output of the screen, which is basically my word list, to aircrack-ng. So we used aircrack-ng as we usually do, and the only difference in here, instead of giving a word list name, we put a dash to tell aircrack that get your word list from the result of the previous command, from the result of the pipe. Now all of this is good, but what we did so far, basically we're literally just doing something that is very similar to the normal aircrack-ng command, because this command right here displays the word list and this command right here reads it. So we still haven't stored our session. And here is why we use John the Ripper. So the only reason we use John the Ripper is not to display the output on screen. This is useless. We can do it using other programs, but we use it because it can store and resume sessions. So we're going to add one more argument to John the Ripper, and that is the most important argument, which is called the session. So we're going to do session, and we're going to name it anything. So we're just going to name it UPC because the name of my network is UPC. So now when John the Ripper will run, it's gonna read all the passwords. It's going to pipe them to aircrack-ng. Aircrack-ng is gonna read these passwords and start cracking. And then when we quit, John the Ripper will store this session in a file called UPC. So I'm gonna hit enter. And you'll see that aircrack-ng will just start as usual trying to crack my password. And I'm just gonna let this run for a little bit of time so some progress is made, and then we'll see if we're actually resuming from where we left. Okay, now I'm gonna press on the Q button to quit. And as you can see, we finished 0.4, you can think 0.39 of the whole file. So our progress is 0.39%. So our session name now is called UPC because we specified that in the session argument. So I'm gonna clear all of this. And we're gonna use John again to resume the session. So we're gonna tell it to restore. And then we're gonna give it the session name, and my session name is UPC. Then I'm gonna pipe all of this again to aircrack-ng. I'm gonna give it -w, my word list, and I'm gonna set that to dash because again I wanted to get the word list from the result of the previous command, which is the John the Ripper command. Then I'm gonna give it my BSS ID, followed by the name of the file that contains the handshake, which is handshake01.cap. Now notice this time, we didn't specify a word list because basically what we're doing is we're telling John the Ripper to start from where it left last time. We gave the word list in the previous command, and now all we have to do is literally just tell John to start from where you left, and John can do that because it supports that functionality. And then we're piping whatever John is gonna read to aircrack-ng. Again, with aircrack-ng, we're not giving it the word list because it's getting it from John. Then we're giving it the BSS ID and the handshake file. Now if I hit enter, you'll see the cracking will start again, but I'm gonna stop it quickly this time just to show you that we are already at 50%. So as you can see, there is no way we could have done that in this very short period of time, which means we basically started from where we left the last time. So like I said, this method is very, very simple because it allows you to basically stop the attack and then come back whenever you want. Also, piping is a very handy skill to know because you can actually use it in so many scenarios to do different types of things.